Do you have natal retrograde planets in your birth chart? If so, then everything that you've heard about what not to do during a Mercury retrograde, throw that out of the window, okay? Because in this video, I'm going to explain why you should do those things that you are told not to do, okay? And so if you are new to me, to the channel, to any of my content in social media land, my name is Katrice. I am the Natal Chart Navigator. I am also a divorce recovery strategist, and I teach newly divorced women how to go through the 5 stages of divorce easier and with more clarity using the information found in their astrological natal charts, okay? And so let's get into it. Let's talk about Mercury retrograde. And we are currently in a Mercury retrograde at the time of recording. Mercury is retrograding in the sign of Aries, okay, which is fire energy. It's the first sign of the zodiac. And so when Mercury is in retrograde, it is essentially giving us a chance to rethink some things before moving forward. Maybe we may have, kind of went into something a little too quickly, and then now we have the chance to rethink something, okay? So, if you have planets in retrograde, that means that at the time of your birth, whatever planet has the RX by it was retrograde. It was in retrograde motion. So you were born under retrograde, the retrograde energy of that planet, okay? Now, if you are new to astrology or you're not quite sure what the heck I'm talking about, then 2 things. You first of all, you're going to need your birth chart. So if you've never pulled your birth chart, you're going to need your date of birth, time of birth, and place of birth in order to pull an accurate chart. Now, if you don't know the exact time, but it's kind of like a roundabout time, you can use that. The rising sign may or may not be right because the rising signs change every 2 hours or so. And so you want to, that's why it's better if you have your actual time, okay? But go to astro.com. The link will be in the description of this video. You can go to astro.com and you can pull your birth chart, okay? It's absolutely free. You do have to make an account, but you can pull your birth chart, and then you can you'll be able to see if you have any planets that are retrograde, okay? If you don't have any planets that were retrograde, then all of the planets were in direct motion at the time of your birth. So they were all moving in their forward normal energies, okay? They were all operating in the normal way that they would operate, okay? So before we go any further, and that was 1. Hold on, about 2, go to the link is in the description of the video as well, or you can go on the home page, go to my link tree and get my free ebook, the Natal Healing Method. It's the first 3 steps of the Natal Healing Method process, which is the process that I used when I was going through my divorce recovery, okay? And so it's the first 3 steps, which are the foundation of the method. And each step is outlined and explained in the book. Okay, so you pull your chart and then you get the ebook. Okay, get the ebook so that the chart will make sense to you. Okay, you can do both of those. The links will be in the description. Okay, so now if you don't know what retrograde means, okay, I'm going to give you the definition of it, which is when a planet is in retrograde motion, then it looks like it is moving backwards in the sky from our perspective here on Earth, okay? Now, in astrology, retrograde energies mean when a planet is retrograde, it's giving us the chance to reassess the areas of life, the things that planet governs, that what that planet energies symbolizes and governs in our lives. Okay, and so because Mercury is retrograde, we'll just go ahead and we'll talk about Mercury retrograde. Okay, so you know how, yeah, that'll be as an example. Okay, so you know how whenever Mercury retrograde coming up, people make it seem like it's just the end of life, like doom and gloom and everything bad is going to happen or whatever. And back up your files and be careful and make sure your car is in good working order, and you know, all of these things, right? And yes, there is some truth to it, because the energy, when the planet's energy is in backwards motion, it does make things wonky, because that's not how it normally operates. Okay, so Mercury is the planet of our thought. It's the planet of our communication, and it is a planet. It's a personal planet, so it's very, very important. You know, the energies, we feel those energies intensely, because it's a personal planet. It governs our minds, our thoughts, our communication. It also has a jurisdiction over travel, like short distance travel, so like in cars, bicycles, motorcycles, things like that. What else? Social media has a lot to do with Mercury, because that's a form of communication. It also the energy of your siblings. Okay, Mercury has some jurisdiction over that. Okay, so, but if you're just thinking about from the communication, mind, thought, standpoint. Okay, when Mercury is in retrograde, and you were born when Mercury was in retrograde, that's going to make you somebody that is more introspective. Okay, when things arise, you go inward to figure it out versus going outward. Okay, now you do want to look at the sign that your Mercury is in, okay, because that has an effect on how that Mercury will operate its energy. That tells how that Mercury will operate its energy. And then the house is where that thought in that area of life is really important to your life path. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If not, ask questions in the comments. Okay. So when Mercury is in retrograde and you have a natal Mercury retrograde, when you hear, on social media, and you hear, you don't need to enter into any contracts or try to start anything new, that is the perfect time for you to enter into contracts and to start things new, because now your Mercury is functioning beautifully, because this is the energy that your Mercury is functioning in. So when Mercury is in this energy, it's like your Mercury, I won't say wakes up, but it gets this burst of clarity, and things start mentally making sense to you, and you're able to really get things in a better order. Okay. Now when Mercury stations and goes direct, then that's like a retrograde for you. Okay. And so, not saying that you shouldn't enter into contracts or start anything new. You just have to be more careful. Okay, so it's basically like flip-flop for us, because my natal Mercury is retrograde. Okay, and so it's like flip-flop for us. Like when Mercury is in retrograde, then we can do all of those things that are being told not to do for others, because this is our energy, right? But for when Mercury is direct, then that's when we need to be a lot more cautious, okay, and pay attention more, and maybe, take a little bit longer before making a concrete decision about something, okay? Now, once again, the energy that your Mercury operates in plays a key role in that. And while we all need to, when Mercury is direct, while we all need to be cautious, certain signs need to be more cautious than others. Gemini, Aries are two signs that when Mercury is direct, you need to make sure that you look over things a little bit more, especially Gemini. You need to not kind of skim through things, but actually read it and understand and process it, because that can be times when things don't go well for you. And I know people who they have their Mercury in Gemini, and it's retrograde, and it never fails. I used to always say, hey, you might want to reread that, you might want to go over that, and no, I read, I understand that, and then it doesn't work out the way they thought it was supposed to work out, and so then they're upset, and I'm like, but I told you to reread it, So, if when Mercury does station direct, I think it's supposed to be stationing direct next week. So enjoy this retrograde season. I personally love retrogrades because my mind just always feels so clear, and I'm always able to really buckle down and get things done, and it's seamless stuff, and it's stuff that I have been working on for months, and then it's Mercury goes retrograde and things just start, I'm and so I love it. So let me know in the comments if you have your Mercury retrograde, and if so, what sign. Mine is in Libra. Okay, so that is it. When you need to make sure that you do the things that are said not to do, because this is the energy of your mind, okay? And this is when your mind is going to be the most sharp, it's going to be the most clear, and your understanding of things is going to be boom, 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 okay? So, and that's for Mercury. But if you have any of the other signs, any of the other planets in retrograde, whenever that planet is retrograde, that energy is going to flow easier for you, okay? And so just capitalize on that retrograde season. Capitalize and make your moves, do whatever it is you need to do. Capitalize on that while it is retrograde, while you are in your natal energy, okay? All right, and so that is what I have for today's video. For this video, I just wanted to come on and talk about that, because I thought about it and I was like, man, you always hear when they talk about what you shouldn't do through Mercury retrograde, but things always flow so much better for me. So I was like, I got to come on and I got to talk about retrograde energy, right? All right. And so, like I said, if you haven't gotten your free copy of the Natal Healing Method ebook, it's absolutely free. Go to my link tree here in the description and get your copy of that. Also, pull your birth chart if you haven't pulled your birth chart. The Natal Healing Method, the ebook won't really make any sense because you don't even know what is, you don't have the chart to actually look at it. So go pull your chart free at astro.com, okay? Make sure you come back to the channel, uploading brand new content, astrology content, divorce recovery content, how to move through the 5 stages of divorce, how to recognize them, how to flow through them, all of that good stuff. So you want to make sure that you come back to the channel. If you got value in this video, please do give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you would like to work with me, if you want to do a divorce recovery strategy session, now those are kind of, this is something that I've really just implemented within the last week or so into my practice, and they've really been going well. So if you want to book a divorce recovery strategy session with me, in it I explain what divorce recovery is. We talk about the 5 stages of divorce. I go over the natal healing method, and then we can, if you know your information, we can look at your chart, or if you've already got your information, kind of look at your chart, your houses, and see you know, what's going on, and come up with some type of a strategy for you. Okay, now it's a 30-minute session. Okay, you can also book that at my link tree. So if you would like to book one of those, you definitely can. Okay, all right. And so remember, possibilities are endless. If you can see it in your mind, then you can definitely hold it in your hand, and that should make you smile, because you are the one who creates your reality. Have a good one.